Where last we left our heroes, Nara the Drow Sorceress, Wolfgang the Angelic Warlock, and Denier the Tabaxi Wizard, as well as their companion Asmo the Sneckman Fighter, were taken by surprise in the land of Lona Throne within these school for the Arcane, the Arcanos Academy for the Arcane, excuse me. As Ramses Palto began an incursion looking to find his way to Fezziwig Grinspire, seeking some sort of information that lies deep within the mind of the possessed elf. As the city came under assault, the military moved swiftly to attempt to transport the citizenry out of Lona Throne, as Arcanos began what was known as Project Exodus. He and his clones quickly began to start a ritual that would, by his account, take the attackers along, trap the attackers within the city and along with him forever. Seeking to buy Arcanos some time, as well as make sure they did not get to Fezziwig, our party ran to the assistance of the possessed elf, but found themselves being tracked by many chain-wielding devils and machines controlled by Ramses Palto. Finally coming face to face with two monstrous entities, one of which had already captured Fezziwig and disappeared. The party did battle with Ramses and a massive demon that seemed hell-bent on taking Asmo with it. Asmo was gobbled up by the demon, essentially like ripped and placed within the rib cage of this beast. Wolfgang attempting to banish the beast and save Asmo, unfortunately banished both of them back to the realm which they came from, much to Ramses' glee. Denier, meanwhile, taking the fight to Ramses, showed him the fury that he could render straight from the dream realm, striking straight and true onto Ramses, who was caught by surprise by this onslaught. Having held Ramses in place long enough, the ritual that Arcanos began took shape. With one last desperate attempt to teleport away, Denier stopped Ramses as they were all pulled into an infinite void of light. You feel yourself plummeting. All of you. Your mind is having a hard time making sense of what's happening, as a bright light seems to be shining from all around you in all directions, and these multicolored strands pass by at this preternatural speed, looking to your eye as if they're but fluorescent braids of yarn. As you glance around, you see nothing around you except for these occasional strands. You don't even see each other. You don't feel as though you're moving. Your body does not get this sense of momentum. You get this feeling of weightlessness, but as things move around you, or maybe you're moving past them, your minds begin to drift. You're not even sure how much time has passed. Wolfgang, you look down at your hand one moment, just trying to keep track of everything. There are a few wrinkles there that you don't recall seeing before. Denier, some of the tips of your hairs are beginning to turn gray. Nara, as a drow, you don't really age, but Something doesn't feel quite right to you. Moments pass, and as you continue looking around, Wolfgang, your hands are old and feeble. You watch horridly as your hands begin to crinkle up and slowly dissolve into dust, leaving only a skeleton behind. You blink your eyes, trying to clear your vision, only to see an infant's hand in its place. I need each of you to make me wisdom saves.
Ooh.
Hey.
Wow.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna
6?
give it a minute.
Denier with
That's a
a
nat 1 for me.
Okay,
Oh my
23.
god.
23. Okay, that's good. I'll take it.
Denier, despite your knowledge of the arcane, what is happening around you right now is so far beyond the pale. You find yourself panic-stricken, just trying to cast your way out of this, looking through your vast tomes, even trying to pull yourself into your own dream palace, but you can't seem to shake what is happening around you. Nara,
I'm
this
pissed.
whole yeah, you were at a certain point, but it feels to you as if days, weeks, months, hell, it's hard even to know how much time has passed. You've been pretty good about tracking time in the most sunless of settings, but it's getting to the point where you can barely remember where you were. A lot of things that happened almost start to feel like they were a dream. Wolfgang, meanwhile, you take a moment as you look at your infant hands in front of you. You close your eyes. You remember who you are and the power that lies inside of you. And as you open your eyes, you see that you are still fully formed. You are still you. You are still Wolfgang Connolly. You remember why you are here. You remember what the stakes are. And as you glance around at these strings that continue to plummet around you, a few things begin to take form in your mind. One of the strings, long red, white, brown. Another one, purple, olive, and white. They start to remind you of the people that you were just there with. As if they are a single entity being stretched to infinity. Denier, as you plummet and continue to panic in your mind, the sigil of Arcanos that is etched onto your left lapel begins to kind of pulse. The same goes for each of your symbols of Arcanos. They begin to kind of pulse with this dim violet glow. It starts very light at first, but starts to get more and more frequent as you plummet.
Is there anything that we can, any way that we can like try to interact with it, or
What would you like to do?
an Arcana check to, if I'm guessing it might be like some kind of trigger, or it's reacting to the magic that's going on right now. Is there any way that I can roll an Arcana to either understand it or try to further its progression of blinking?
You are currently in the midst of a massive panic attack, so I'll allow you to do so at disadvantage.
Okie doke. 15.
As you examine it and try to figure out exactly what is causing it, this is actually something that actually kind of helps calming you down. You have a puzzle in front of you, so your pulse your pulse starts to slow down, and you start to try to make sense out of this puzzle. It's not quite. It's very difficult for you to comprehend exactly what it means, but the best that you can recognize is that it is certainly acting as some form of beacon. It reminds you very tacitly of what the gems used to do as they got closer together.
So that means we're getting closer to whatever the other beacons are tracking. Okay.
Wolfgang, as you slowly start to try to make sense of what's around you, another strand that was nearby, this red and brown and sort of pale beige and pink strand begins to drift further and further away from the other ones.
Does it look like something I could interact with?
How would you like to try
Or do
to
I
do so?
What sort of state of being am I in right now? Do I still have baby hands, or am I fully formed at this point?
You're fully formed. You have taken hold of your own mind in this maddening situation and have basically kind of come to terms with who you are. Still trying to figure out exactly where you are, but that's less important than knowing what you have, what you need to do.
So sort of like red, beige, and pink, you said it was?
Yeah, and that one's kind of drifting further away from the other strands. The red and beige one was closer to the red, brown, and white one. And now it's getting kind of further away. The closest one to you is the purple, black olive and white colored one.
Okay. I actually don't think there's much I could try to do here. I'll just call out Ramses.
Your voice seems to echo in a very distorted manner as it kind of bounds around this plane that you're shooting through.
Ah.
And how aware is Nara, aside from temporally disoriented, of, this situation?
You are aware that you are just kind of floating in a white void. What is strange to you is the fact that despite the fact that it is very bright, this does not seem to strain your eyes at all.
Huh. Does it feel similar to flying like we did before?
Less
In the
like
air with the
flying
pixies?
and more like you're just kind of floating.
Floating. Like stationary floating.
That's what it feels like. Your body doesn't really have a sense of momentum to it.
And if I were to move, what would happen?
Would you like to try?
Yes.
How would you like to try?
What all can she see?
From around you, there are, like I said, kind of those strands, those multicolored strands all abound. Your mind hasn't quite made sense of them yet,
Okay.
but that's about it when it comes to things that are around you.
Since they're the only things in existence around me, she will start to move towards one. Like, kind of like gesture her arm towards it as if she was going to try and move toward it.
Okay, go ahead and as you outstretch your arm, you don't really feel yourself moving forward or moving in any direction, but you can stretch out your limbs.
Okay. So I can't move, but I can move my appendages.
You can move your appendages, yeah.
So if that's as far as it can go, if the Arcanos symbol on her shawl is blinking, then she would probably go to touch it. Just like kind of tap it.
You can feel it kind of lightly hum in your fingers every time it pulses. Kind of like a very gentle vibration.
Then she would focus on that vibration and try and see if there's if this is calling out, is anything else like this also calling out?
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check.
23.
As you glance back around, as you kind of take another glance back around, kind of getting a sense for the tempo of the pulse, you start to notice that each of these strands, as it kind of buzzes in your hands, each of those starts to kind of wiggle a little bit too. Just a very subtle, like a very, very subtle vibration. Two of the three of them around you kind of buzz at the same pattern. One of them is kind of drifting further away.
Okay.
And the one that is currently drifting further away is one that is not buzzing, I should say.
So she's gonna try using message on that creature.
All right, and go ahead and click message and
120
towards a creature within range. Whisper a message to the target. Only the target hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear. You can cast this spell through solid objects if you are familiar with the target and know it's beyond the barrier. Magical silence, 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead. Range 120 feet is the interesting one.
Yeah, I know. I know that, like, space is a thing here.
Yeah. As you point your finger, you feel as though what you are pointing at is way further away than what your eyes are interpreting.
Okay.
Especially as it continues to drift.
Is there any way to, like, move toward it?
If this thing is moving, clearly there must be some way to move. That is the one thing that you can kind of come to terms on.
Okay. Then she's going to, when she realizes that it's too far away, she's going to do everything she can to, like, move, think, believe her way over to whatever it is.
All right, you're gonna
Since it's moving.
Gonna try to think happy thoughts or think ragey thoughts and try to get over
whatever propels her in a direction.
I'll say go ahead and make an Arcana check at disadvantage.
16.
You start thinking about how things move through space. You clamor through your mind. You start trying to, like, swim through the air. That doesn't do it. Like, you know, breaststroke, forward stroke, kicking, flailing, somersaulting. None of that seems to get you there. Then you remember your pixie stick.
Oh. She will pull out the pixie stick and start flying over.
You pull out the
If she
pixie
can.
stick and you mount it.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be moving a lot slower than you feel like you should be, but you are moving.
Okay.
You're getting closer to one of these strings that is vibrating as the other string is getting further and further away, almost to the point that it's nigh imperceptible.
She was going to the one that was moving away.
Oh, I know, but it's moving faster.
Oh, okay.
It figured out how to move and is now figuring out how to do so with more efficiency.
She will cast haste on herself then.
You are now moving twice as fast, but your momentum doesn't seem to have picked up within this realm.
Well, shit.
Wolfgang, the string that was closest to you has started to move closer to the one that is still kind of floating away, and towards the getting closer to the other red string as well.
How fast am I seeing this go down? Is it like normal speed, or is there clearly some sort of...
To you, it looks like the strings are just kind of meandering very slowly, although the one that began moving earlier seems to have started to pick up pace.
Well, that's the only sign of anything that I've seen so far, so I suppose I will try and follow them.
All right, what do?
Do I blow this for this? Oh, what am I wearing?
I don't know. What are you wearing?
Do I have my Cape of the Mountebank?
I mean, if you never took it off, then you certainly do.
All right, why not? I will use that, and I will cast Dimension Door as close towards them as possible. I know we've already established, even though Wolfgang doesn't know, time and space are an enigma, but yeah. I will Dimension Door closer towards them.
All right, Denier, a peculiar thing is happening. A couple of the strands, as you're kind of still trying to come to terms with the sigil that's kind of blinking on you, it's picking up in intensity as two of the strands are starting to move closer to you. One of them is moving fairly slowly, just kind of drifting. Then another one moved really quickly and then stopped.
Can I roll like an intelligence check to figure out what they mean and to surmise that these two are Wolfgang and Nara?
I will say either... Yeah, another Arcana check could probably do for that.
Okay. 16?
Whatever the sigil on your... whatever the sigil of Arcanos is recognizing within them, clearly it's recognizing some form of kinship. You are able to determine that these two strands must represent Wolfgang and Nara just based on where you were before they began, when you started this plummet. And the strand that's moving further away from you, which is getting further and further away, faster and faster.
I can probably guess it's Ramses.
That's your
I'm going to
best
try
guess.
something probably harebrained, but I have to try it.
Mm-hmm.
I reach a hand out towards that particular strand that's getting further and further away, and I focus on the connection between me and my shard of the gem. I try to will it to come back to me. To, at the very least, if not, try to get the shard closer to me, the staff closer to me, or at least to drag Ramses back a little bit.
With that, I will say that will be a wisdom check with disadvantage.
Ooh.
At
Okay.
how far away you are, and
14.
while it does not seem to stop its movement, you do kind of feel sort of a mental ping and can confirm that that is in fact Ramses.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then, given that he's probably too far to grab at this moment, I'm going to use the Will of Arcanos to calm my mind. Then I'm going to remember how I always traveled. I'm going to remember a very recent lesson that I learned, traveling from dream to dream, along with Phobos and Ketchy, and I'm going to try to will myself forward towards Wolfgang and Nara like I would travel from dream to dream in the plane of dreams.
For your new spell, what is the duration of that current transformation you have?
Let us check. It's probably already gone. Let me see. Did I put in the
Like it's
duration?
written on this thing.
I will grab it. I probably forgot to put in the duration. I think it's like a minute. Up to 1 minute.
Given what you are currently dealing with, I will say that the spell itself is still kind of in effect.
Mm-hmm.
So you do still have your flying speed and you are able to move.
Okay. And all right, then I will begin double moving. I will begin dashing in the direction of Wolfgang and Nara.
All right, it looks like, from what you're able to tell, the strand that represents Nara is the one that's getting closer quicker. Wolfgang had the strand representing Wolfgang had like kind of a dash, and then after you teleported Wolfgang, you ended up further. You ended up closer to them. Not as far as you thought you'd end, and not as far as you thought you'd go, given how far the distance is. But Nara, one of these strands is moving closer to you, and the sigil on your the sigil on your shawl is blinking more and more as it's getting closer. And it actually starts to take shape as you get closer to it as well.
Hmm.
Nara and Denier, you slowly start to see as these strands that are pulled to infinity begin to shrink down, kind of compress, and turn into the form of each other's familiar guises.
Ramses is getting away, but I think that other one over there is Wolfgang. These things are acting as beacons. I think they're meant to draw us closer to each other.
As you've gotten closer to each other, they are now flashing, kind of almost strobing. Wolfgang, do you have any other methods of movement you wish to try?
Well, I suppose I could use my Radiant Soul and pop my wings out for this. That'll give me a fly speed of 30 feet, and I'll just dash towards them.
All right. As you guys are saying these things, the strand behind Nara that you're looking towards, Denier, flashes a brilliant bright light and starts to move towards you. And slowly but surely, Wolfgang starts to take shape. These radiant, burning wings shooting off of his back.
As Wolfgang comes into view, Denier reaches out and he makes sure to put a hand on Nara's shoulder and on Wolfgang's shoulder and take a look at the beacon and see what it's doing, if they have to be touching each other or if they have to be in close proximity for the beacons to trigger.
As you touch both of them, the sigils that were flashing burst into like one solid violet light. And beneath you, you begin to see actually, go ahead and roll me a perception check. As the
All
first
of us,
thing,
or?
Anybody that wants to be looking around outside of the light.
24.
10.
All right.
Or
Wolfgang is near the pendants lighting up is like the first thing you notice. It's kind of this brilliant violet light. Nara, this is a light that actually does kind of hurt your eyes. So you glance away, you look down, and you see what appears to be this little pinprick of a dot beneath you start to open up. This hole begins to grow larger and larger. Yeah, it's getting larger still. Larger still. And
Denier
as
doesn't see
nobody
it.
has said, yeah, nobody else has seen it, and as nobody has said anything at this point, shoomp! Each of you are sucked into a deep black abyss, and the light goes out.
Denier's doing his best to try to keep a hold of the two of them.
Nara see in this darkness?
You would if you all didn't lose consciousness.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Each of you make me a Constitution check.
Constitution check.
Yes.
10.
11.
9.
Ooh.
Wolfgang, you're awoken by... It felt like a drip of water for a moment, but as you reach up to kind of wipe your forehead, it's far too viscous to be water.
Oh.
You kind of wipe this slime off of your brow.
What is this?
You start to kind of blink your eyes as your eyes get kind of blurry, and all around you, you see this very alien landscape. Water dripping from these very tall, mushroom-like rocks or trees. It's hard to tell, but as you press your hand to the ground, kind of getting a sense around you, both Denier and Nara are within touching distance of you. You guys are not separated here. But as you touch the ground feels oddly soft, although it looks very rock-like. Has kind of like a gentle yield to the touch. Something that you don't feel like you could easily dig through. It feels almost like a very dense leather. Denier, as you start to hear the shifting beside you, you start to awaken as well. By this point, your spell has worn off.
Mm-hmm. Where are we?
I have no idea.
The world is very dark. There does appear to be some form of light, but it's this kind of sickly, pallid blue. Sometimes this gross green radiance that seems to be emanating from various places above you that you just can't quite see. But everything's kind of just a little bit sticky. That's what it feels like. And the air has this ionic, musty smell to it.
Wherever we are, I don't think we're in Marmaria anymore.
Nara, you wake up. You
She
luckily landed on
purposefully
your...
lays still and keeps her eyes closed.
You're actually awoken by the jiggle of the egg that is still sitting in your papoose, which luckily you did not land on.
Thank God. I was actually wondering about that. But yeah, she's gonna lay on the ground and like listen very intently as Denier and Wolfgang talk, but keep her eyes closed.
All right, go ahead and give me a perception check.
28.
Beyond their speaking, you also hear some very faint whispers. This alien yet familiar language.
Oh no.
Immediately cast comprehend languages.
All right, Wolfgang and Denier, feel free to continue your conversation. I'll let you know if they say anything of note.
He had 3 targets, Wolfgang. You remember what the guys with the chain said? There's 2 of them, kill the other 2. He wanted Asmo for some reason.
Damn it. It wasn't supposed to happen.
I guess, as far as I can guess, he's probably back in Marmaria, so if we can get back, I can at least try to scry on him and find him. Or at the very least, I can try to get to him in his dreams.
Damn it. I'm sorry, Asmo.
As soon as he says Asmo's name, Nara springs up, flings the egg behind her, and like runs full speed to punch Wolfgang in the face.
Making sure, when you say flings the egg behind her, you mean...
She's
keep
got
it
the
attached
papoose, so
with-
she's slinging it over her shoulder so that the egg is behind her, so it's not in front of her.
Okay, just making sure that after all that, you're not just going to fling the egg. Gotcha.
Oh, no.
All right, so Wolfgang, Nara just gets up and sprints to punch you in the face. Nara, go ahead and roll an unarmed attack. That would be strength proficiency
I let her.
with
Oh, shit.
advantage.
Strength, how would I do that?
You know, if he's letting you, I'll just say, pa! You connect square with his jawline. You deal your strength and damage. Your strength modifier and damage. with a minimum of 1.
That's not gonna work because it's a -1 for me.
Then you do 1
I
damage.
heal 1 damage.
Yeah, your punches heal him. Nah,
Thanks.
punches do at minimum 1 damage. I'm pretty sure.
Then let's just say that she had Tango Muerte in her hand, and
Jesus!
uses the butt end of it.
No!
To the butt end of it, butt end of it, to
Okay.
like sock him in the face with it, because she knows that her fists aren't like tough enough.
Yeah, you punch Wolfgang in the face.
You're sorry? How dare you even say his name after what you did?
It's all I can do.
It's not enough. And it never will be. Lucky your little human isn't here. So I can't get even.
We're
I
going
know
to get
you're
him
upset.
back, Nora.
I know you're upset, Nora. But he's alive out there.
How do you even
he's
fucking
crafty.
know?
I've traveled with him long enough to know him. He wouldn't let a thing like this do him in.
You
Not
better
until
be
he-
right, Wolfgang.
I made a bad call, and I know you're upset.
No shit.
But we'll find a way out of this. We'll get back home, and we'll save Asmo.
You understand what you did, Wolfgang? If he's not there, there is no home for me. And I'll make damn sure there isn't one for you either.
Give her a very leveled look. I know how you feel.
How could you?
I pull out my wife's skull. I know. You don't have one of these yet, though. We don't know where he is. We don't know what happened to him. And we can't go assuming until we know for sure. I'll get us out of here. I know it'll be hard, but you have to trust me until then. But do not threaten my family again. I'll get us home. We're not done yet. Asmo isn't done yet.
A lot of honeyed words coming from someone who knew any kind of happiness before that.
And she gestures at the skull.
Nora, that etching burned into his chest. Do you really think that Solomon would let him go that easy?
Fuck if I know. Whatever.
I don't think he would. Look, we get out of here, and I will personally find Asmo. I don't care if I have to scry on him. I don't care if I have to go into his dreams. If he's still out there, I will find him. But that's not going to do a whole lot of good if we don't make it back. Right now, I need
looks
both
down.
of you in the right mindset, because who knows what the hell is here.
As you say that, each of you make me a perception check.
21.
8. Wolfgang is too busy biting back fatherly fury.
Denier, as you glance around, some of these like mushroom-like rocks that appear to have kind of like roots coiling down them, some of those roots look as though they are moving and retracting into holes within the porous rock. And Nara, you not only see that, but you hear, with your comprehend languages, the disturbance. Was it caused by Dome Bambus? Find it. Feed.
Nara's entire expression changes to very flat, and looks at Denier and Wolfgang.
We have to go. Something's hunting us now.
As you glance into the sky, you hear this almost perverse cawing of birds. This as floating above you, kind of like traipsing off of the underbelly of these overhanging rocks, are these tentacled brains with bird-like beaks coming out of their front. They don't appear to have noticed you. This just appears to be a call that they are making as they are beginning to fly or hover or whatever the hell they are doing.
Nara grabs both of their cloaks and starts running to try and find cover.
Running. All right.
Or, as quietly as humanly possible, moving quickly.
All right. Stealth, then.
Yes, that one.
Also, I'm assuming at this point my wings are gone.
Yeah. They left when you were unconscious. You did, however, receive what would constitute a short rest.
Hey! Get my spell slots back.
That's good for one of you. And
wait,
the
how
rest
many
of you
do we
heal
get?
A little.
Haha! Warlock!
Yeah, Warlock gets their spell slots back on a short rest.
Oh.
Finally! One of my class features comes in full use.
Oh my god. Okay, and what does a short rest give me, or nothing?
It gives you, if you've lost any health, you can heal up to however many hit die you have.
Which would be 12.
Yeah, you can heal up to 12 of your hit die.
Ah!
Up to 12 of my... Where's my hit die again?
Right below your temporary hit points. Oh, a short rest? We would also all get... Yeah. We'd also all get our temporary hit points back.
Oh, hell yeah. That's 11, right?
11 now, and I get 15. Wait.
Wow, a lot of nat 1s on these hit dice regains.
Yeah,
Everyone's very upset right now, so...
It wasn't a very... Okay, let's be fair. It wasn't a very restful short rest.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I still have like 10 more, so I might do a couple more.
Half my warlock level.
Okay, that's better.
11 warlock level plus my first modifier, so I get 17 temporary hit points.
Put ding 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 ding. Maybe one more. Doink.
Hey, there you go.
2.
Probably gonna take one more.
Yeah, one more on top of that. 2.
All right, yeah, I'm
that-
good now.
Oh god.
All right, everybody's healed some.
Yeah. Okay, that's much better.
And you all have 11 temporary HP again.
Yep, I think that's the only thing I get back in a short rest.
And now that you're moving to hide, you were given pre-warning with by Nara, so you do have the chance to hide. So go ahead and give me stealth checks.
Okay.
I will attempt to use one of my abilities. I will use Blessing of Arcanos. I need to roll a 12 on the die for this.
All right, what are you attempting to use with it?
Ooh.
invisibility.
Oh, well then yes. Then you'll get stealth with advantage as you have passed the mark.
All of us?
Denier will,
Oh,
because he's
Denier.
invisible
Okay.
now.
Oh, that makes sense. Stealth check. 21.
25.
And here I go. 11.
Alright. Alright, you begin to kind of slink off. You manage to avoid some of these tentacle roots that are pervading the ground, trying to kind of get a sense for things around it. One of them actually snatches at this very pale-looking, rat-like, grub-like creature that's kind of skittering around. As you see this tentacle, like its ends kind of open up. It has like a beak on the inside and very sharp claws at the edge of the tentacle snap around the creature and yoink it back into a hole. You just hear a tiny as the bug rat gets yoinked away from its mortality. But you guys manage to slink away and find a little cubby hole to hide in as some familiar looking forms begin to pervade this rock mushroom forest. You recognize the tentacled faces of mind flayers as they begin to hunt the area.
Shit.
Nobody can see it, but Denier bites his bottom lip as his eye is starting to widen just a little bit.
Memories of Phobos kind of flash before your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Nara's gonna be listening very intently for any more whispers.
You don't seem to hear anything coming from them. They appear to be speaking telepathically. They look around the area for a while. At one point, one of them gets relatively close to the cubby that you're hiding in. Glancing around, you even see it kind of curl its very oblong fingers against the rock just beside where you're hiding. As its head kind of moves forward,
Denier holds his breath.
You see the peripheral, or like you see the outline of its face, its tentacles curling, looking inquisitively, and then its head snaps back to the side, looking back towards the remaining group, and it begins to float away. It's quiet for a while. The distant sound of those brain birds can be heard kind of in the distance. But you appear to be safe for now.
So what's the game plan?
These bastards again. They made their way into the Feywild through one of those cracks in reality. We might try looking for one of those.
Good idea. Another idea. Arcanos is somewhere around here, probably. If we find him, we might be able to get home.
Why would Arcanos have come here?
Come or ended up. I will
don't
cast
like it.
Detect Magic.
All right. Around you, there, aside from just the atmospheric distortion of magic, the air does seem to have like kind of a odd arcane quality to it. Something's not quite right, and you can't quite put your finger on it. Well, I mean, you might be able to if you give me an Arcana check.
Okay. Let's see. 15.
It's lacking. It's lacking some component that you're so used to seeing when you have detect magic on, but it's something that's very hard for you to place. It seems like something fundamental is wrong here. But as far as actual magical aura goes, there doesn't appear to be anything within 30 feet of you that is giving off any sort of particular magical resonance. Aside from the things that you are equipped with.
Air feels very strange.
I might have an idea. I don't think you two are going to like it, though. I could send you both home. I wouldn't be able to follow for a little bit.
Nara's face scrunches up in a really confused and angry look.
Daenerys slowly nods over in Wolfgang's direction. Same trick he pulled. You both aren't from here. None of us are. I do it, you both go home. I just have to stay safe long enough to... all I gotta do is stay hidden long enough to be able to recover some of my magic.
Nara, go ahead and give me a perception check real quick. With advantage.
Natural 20, that'd be a 30.
You feel a slimy appendage kind of like work its way across your back, kind of working its way towards the egg on your back. And you glance back quickly enough to see that one of those tentacles that was climbing out from those rocks is trying to grab the egg.
She will try and silently and deftly move away.
It's pretty easy to move away from it. But you once again start to hear whispers. Distortion here. Find, feed, move.
They know we're here. Either way, we need to move.
Let's go.
Shit. All right.
Daenerys moving.
Paths-wise, there is the rock mushroom forest that you just came through that those mind flayers went into. Otherwise, it looks like there's kind of this rocky grove that has a few trickling, viscous streams running along it that you can try to work your way through. Kind of looks like it's heading into sort of a weird, misty valley-looking kind of area. Kind of craggy.
That way, I might be able to make the tower just small enough and camouflage it enough to where we might be able to at least hunker down for a little while.
Which way is that way?
The craggy, misty area.
All right.
Mist again.
This mist looks more like it's that kind of low-lying, you can't quite see your feet mist, not a full-on fog.
Yeah, but he's still pissed.
Yeah.
PTSD.
All right, so you decide to head that way?
That's the nearest game plan. He's looking for a place where he can try to set up the tower and camouflage it to give them at least some manner of cover for a little bit.
All right, you start walking. You start traipsing your way into the valley. Go ahead and give me stealth checks again, Denier with advantage.
Okay.
22.
18.
Natural 20.
Nice.
The tune of 23.
And Wolfgang, the pallid rocks alongside this craggy area that you start walking through, again, these rocks that don't quite feel like rocks, they feel like very dense leather. They actually seem to match your coat a bit better, so you're actually much better hidden in this area than usual.
Ooh.
And Nara, you're just very good at sticking to shadows.
He's also in like hyper work mode at the moment.
So as you begin to travel, you look along the walls of this. Slowly but surely, like the crags start to kind of like rise around you until you're in this valley-like area. You can't see your feet. Kind of from the shins down, like at just below your kneecaps down, the mist starts to kind of become too opaque to see. So you have to move a little bit slower just to make sure you're getting solid footing. But as you're like glancing around, go ahead and make me a perception check.
Okay.
22.
Oh, wait.
Nier got the 22.
Oh, I got 13. Just kidding.
Denier, what you see kind of as you hear some like kind of clattering coming down the side of these rocks. Nara, you thought you see a shape move kind of up at the top of the valley for a little bit. Denier, you're much better able to, but to you, Nara, it just kind of looks like the rocks are floating around. But Denier, some of these rocks are just brains with little clawed feet gripping on the side of the walls. Skittering around.
No.
None of them appear to have noticed you. But these little brain creatures appear to be surveying the surroundings. Nara, you hear whispers kind of echoing around the valley as you guys get kind of further and further in.
Dare we go this far? No. Little further. Reward the great master. Reward the great master shall. But too far, and we will surely be gone. It is his lair.
He kind of mouths.
Master shall?
Reward the master shall is what they said.
Reward the master shall. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, Nara's eyes light up. And she starts looking around to see any kind of like wall surface. And looks down at her shadow.
You can't quite see your shadow. Well, I mean, I guess it would still be on the top of the mist.
A door would be really helpful right now.
And she
Wolfgang,
tried
go,
to-
Wolfgang,
well,
go ahead
her-
and give me... Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
I was gonna say she tries to remember the experience that she had when she teleported into Solomon's lair.
You remember it, but you're not sure that you could replicate it given the current situation.
Damn. Okay.
In what order are you marching, by the way?
Given Daenerys invisible, I he'd probably be up front.
All right, then Denier, give me a dexterity save.
Okay. Okie doke. That's 12.
You feel yourself step on something soft, and then you feel this hard, sharp pain at the bottom of your foot as your leg starts to get lifted, as your leg starts to get pulled to the side of the cavern. You see one of these tentacles. You see one of these tentacles start to lift up out of the side of the wall, trying to drag you upward.
Nara will immediately go to cut it.
Yeah, as soon as I see. Well, actually, no, we wouldn't see him.
Or if he was, but no, the mist would move.
Yeah, the mist is in fact moving, and Nara, your elf eyes are sharp enough to notice the tentacles starting to writhe. Go ahead and give me a roll to hit with Tango Muerte.
13.
13 is enough for this. Go ahead and roll damage.
8. 8 slashing, 2 necrotic.
That is just enough to sever it. As the tentacle kind of writhes and shifts, you hear kind of echoing around you, "Intruder! Intruders! Intruders!" And the walls begin to kind of collapse down past you, where you see all of these little brains start to scurry into the mist and start to chase you.
I fucking hate it.
So...
God damn it. I was so afraid of it, but at the same time, I know that your knee-jerk reaction.
Jeez, it sounds good as you start to see these little these little protrusions in the mist. These kind of like lumps, almost like goosebumps forming in the mist, start to chase after you.
Run at full speed, yeah. As quietly as you can while running.
They seem to know you're there. I don't think there's quiet
Yeah,
anymore.
okay, we're fucking running then.
We're fucking cheesing it.
Cheesing it.
Go ahead and give me athletics checks.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is not gonna be great. Goodbye,
Athletics
world.
check.
Literally
Oh,
0. Not fucking 1.
Natural 1.
Oh
What the
my
fuck?
god.
Seeing everybody starting to struggle, Denier shakes his head a couple times. He turns to face the horde of little lumps. Didn't want to do this.
The horde of little lumps are very quickly encroaching as both Nara and Wolfgang started to run. They both kind of got in each other's way as Nara's trying to resheath Tango Muerte. Wolfgang kind of, like, they each kind of shoulder check each other as they're trying to do their own thing and trip over little rocks that they can't see under their feet.
Denier brings out sulfur, begins sprinkling it in the air. He waves a small pellet of bat guano forward as he throws out a magnificent ball of fire towards the beasties chasing them. I cast
Okay.
fireball.
At what level?
3rd level.
Okay. Let's see. You're probably
gonna
gonna
try
hit.
to-
You're probably going to hit about a dozen of them with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna roll 4 dex checks, but go ahead and hit that.
They get 26 fire damage. Half of them make a DC 17 dexterity save.
Damn.
Oh, all 4 groups fail. Let me pull up my notes here.
Oh no. I mean, oh boy.
Yay. Oh, yay, you mean?
So 12
Sorry,
of
I'm
them
just-
are going to take
No.
26 fire damage.
That they are. As a few of them begin to stop and just rise, just you hear you hear this kind of like squishy crackling sound. Nara, the whispers you begin to hear around you are, "Ow, hot, 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 very hot, ow, ow, owie, 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 owie." Yeah, just a lot of, this hurts, yes, I agree, very hot. Ow, fire indeed hot. Did not seem to kill them, but it did slow them down. I will allow an additional athletics check for you guys to try to run.
Oh my god, please. Please don't fail us both this time.
That's a 7 for Denier.
15!
6.
And
All right. Wolfgang and Denier are kind of trailing.
Oh wait, that's an acrobatics check.
Oh, that's acrobatics. Yeah, go ahead and switch it up.
Yes!
There you go, Buff Gang. As Wolfgang and Ara get to their feet, Denier, you're still kind of pulling yourself back, and it takes you a moment to realize you get kind of that DBZ logic where like the smoke is in the air, but then you start to see the lumps moving again, and by the point you start to run, they're already like directly on your heels.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
If there's anything I can do to aid,
What would you like to do?
Denier, how many how many look like they're the closest to Denier at this point?
Probably, like, there are, like, 3 or 4 of them that are, like, right on his heels. Like, Denier, you can feel the little scrapes of their claws as they're just trying to reach out at you. You can feel this psionic pounding in the back of your head.
I would like to try an Eldritch Blast the three of them that are chasing him.
All right, Eldritch Blast while running. I will say this will be at disadvantage for your attack, if that's all right.
Shit, that's fine.
I mean, you're kind of in a panic, running, just turning back and shooting, I'm guessing, unless you want to take a full halt to fire.
I'm not taking my chances here.
No.
I'll try it. I'll try it with disadvantage. I'll just aim for the ones that are closest to him, I suppose. 17.
That hits.
Okay, that is 15 force damage.
That one just pops.
Next one, natural 1.
Oh.
Go ahead and roll damage.
Fuck
Oh
me.
god. Oh my god.
7 plus 5 is 12 force damage.
You ping Denier right in the shoulder.
Oh
Shit.
no!
How much damage?
14
12.
or 12,
12,
yeah.
12.
Okay. Arcane ward shatters.
Fuck.
So luckily it does bounce off his arcane ward, even if it explodes.
You do
Go ahead.
also as well have your temporary hit points from me.
Yep.
Wolfgang, give it.
one more
Wolfgang,
time.
taketh away.
Natural
Wolfgang,
Oh
give
my
it.
god.
And Wolfgang taketh away. Roll damage again.
13 force damage.
So Denier, as your arcane
Good to be
ward
fucking
shatters,
back. Roll 20.
as your arcane ward shatters, you're like, oh, that could have been bad. As another one pegs you right in the other side of the chest.
Shit.
Nara is just like scowling at Wolfgang, like, how many more people are you going to hurt today? I suppose she will also try and do. Ooh. I think she's gonna try and. This might be real dumb, or it's gonna work real well.
There's been so
She's
many
gonna
natural
try-
ones today.
And polymorph one of the little brainos that's near the ground into. Oh, wait, no. Because they're interconnected as a hive mind, and we already know that. Chaos Bolt it is!
Please don't roll
Doink.
in that one.
I will do my best.
With disadvantage.
That's just it's an instantaneous.
Oh, it's a save. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So they
yeah.
have advantage on their
No,
save.
make a ranged spell attack against the target.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you have to make a ranged spell attack. I think what you have there is not plugged in as an attack.
Uh-oh. How do I do that? Change it.
Ranged spell attack would be your.
It would be a +9, I'm pretty sure, unless
Yeah,
you've got.
It's your charisma plus proficiency.
Oh no.
If you're proficient in charisma saving throws, you can just click a charisma saving throw.
Let's do that. Oh, heavens. Yeah.
Oh,
18.
18 will hit. Let's see.
I
Now
need
go ahead and
to
roll
agree.
2d8s.
10.
All right. Hold on, I have to read through the confusing instructions of this spell.
Correcto.
Choose
She
one
gets
of the
2d8
D8s.
and a d6.
The number rolled on that die determines the attack's damage type as shown below. All right, so would you like to do thunder damage or cold damage?
Let's do. What's the like feeling of the air down here? Is it damp and chilly or what?
It's a little chilly down here.
Let's do lightning then.
Thunder.
Or thunder, sorry.
No worries. And then roll a d6.
6.
So that's 16 points of damage. It's just one target, right?
Yes. Otherwise it would bounce. If I got the
Yeah, if you got
Yeah.
the doubles. All
but I
right,
did
so
not, sadly.
another one of them just kind of pops, just as you hear just this crack from behind Denier. One of them that was just about to kind of like leap out and try to pounce at him pops and explodes.
Is this a new round since I casted my fireball, or same round?
Since there's still kind of one within range of you, it's now going to attack. Makes one attack. All right.
Oh god.
That is a 15 to hit. I'm gonna guess that don't do it.
My AC right now is 17.
So yes, no. Just one creature can see within 30 feet. And Denier, as you are its primary target, go ahead and make me a intelligence saving throw.
Come on, Denier. 19.
You pass. Saving throw. The target. Okay. Trying to see if it's like a save for half damage or save for no damage. It doesn't specify save for half, so I don't think you take any damage.
No, hooray! Thank God.
All right, so this one managed to not hit you. It is now a new round. Go ahead, Denier, you're up.
How far, like in the chasm that we're in, like how big is the chasm?
It's probably about 15 feet wide. Still kind of difficult terrain, so at the start of this turn, go ahead and make me a dexterity check just to begin with. Because you're still
13.
running through mist. Alright, at a 13, go ahead and give me an athletics with disadvantage.
Oh boy. That's a 3.
Alright, you are moving fairly slow here as the ground beneath your feet is tricky enough that you're not comfortable running, or else you'll feel like you're going to trip.
How tall are these creatures?
Less than a meter tall. They are pretty small. Like they're the size of a humanoid brain, but propped up on 4 legs.
And how, do we have like a straightforward shot? Like, how far is it until we meet the next bend of the chasm?
Right now, what you are outrunning is kind of like waves of them as they're cascading down the sides of the canyon and kind of grouping up as kind of this river behind you.
Jesus.
How, like, straightforward with the chasm where we're heading? How far do we have, like, straightforward before we hit the next bend?
It's kind of like a slow arch, so it's just kind of like a perpetual bend right now.
So so it's a slow bend. Like if I were to say put something straight forward, how far would it go before it hits something?
Probably about 200 feet.
Nara, Wolfgang, jump! While Kinnear's running, he moves, he jumps, and he casts Wall of Force about 5 feet off the ground, straight forward 100 feet.
That's a hefty jump.
But if it goes through their area, I get to choose what side of the wall they end up on, and they're going on top of the wall.
Oh,
Fair enough. For my sake, though, Nara and Wolfgang, go ahead and make an athletics with advantage as you were given forewarning, and Denier gets to choose what side you end up on.
Alrighty.
all right, roll 20. Please. 11.
17.
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Okay.
you land on top without skipping a beat. Nara, you kind of land prone on top, kind of mushing down against it. And you, as you, Denier, are you also attempting to climb up on it?
Yes, I'm going to use my climb speed since I know where I'm placing it.
Okay. One of them's going to get an opportunity attack on you while you do try to climb away.
Okay.
It's gonna miss.
All right. Hopefully, since we're about 5 feet straight up on the wall, they shouldn't be able to climb onto it, and we've got a straight path for at least a little while.
Okay. Nara, as you're kind of getting yourself back up on your feet, you see from beneath the smog beneath you, one of the brains kind of jump up and mush against the bottom of the wall of forest. You hear this tunk, followed by an ow.
How wide is this wall?
10 feet.
Perfect.
It is, each panel is 10 feet tall, 10 feet wide, and it is pretty much set in the middle so that they can't climb from the cliff walls onto the top of it.
All right, so you no longer have to make a dexterity you no longer have to make a dexterity check at the start of your athletics turn. At the start of your run.
Yep, and Denier is booking.
All right, you guys are running at full speed. You also no longer really have to make athletics checks here either. So you guys are just moving at full dash speed as these things are crawling behind you. They are gaining on you just with their general speed, though. These are fast little critters.
What is our natural speed again?
All of you, I believe,
30
is 30
usually.
30 foot. These guys.
I think Denier's.
I'm 30, but I can hit the afterburners with a feline agility.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
these guys seem to be gaining on you at about 10 feet per round.
So now that we're standing on the wall of force, how narrow is the floor that we're standing on now?
10 feet wide.
10 feet wide?
Yeah, you got about 2.5 feet on each side before you would be touching the canyon wall.
And
However,
the area.
As you are running down this path, the intellect devourers that are still coming down the path are now using that. Some of them are even leaping onto the wall to chase you. Those that are still coming down into the canyon.
Fuck.
So I have to read something really quickly. So remind me, polymorph is when I've seen the creature before, right?
Yes,
Shit.
but it also has to be a beast specifically.
Could I be giant versions of beasts that could carry two? We've done that before, so yeah.
Well,
Yeah, if
there,
they-
there
if they
are,
exist.
there are certain creatures that have large varieties, like the giant ape and things like that. But you can't just say like, I want to be a mega colossal rat, because
Right.
they have to be something that actually have stats.
Okay. I am looking.
All right. In the meanwhile, Wolfgang, is there anything that you want to do?
Well, if there are intellect devourers scuttling along the wall of force behind us, I can at least try and deal with some of those. I will go ahead and make a 10-foot across, and then however many other feet I have, could be 60 feet long, 10 feet high, and 5 feet thick. 60 feet long, 10 feet high, and 5 feet thick.
Yo.
Shit. Yeah, I'll just have it like right down the middle of the wall of force, so that the intellect of errors will have trouble sort of trying to get around it. I will cast a wall of light.
All right. Is that a Constitution save?
Constitution saving throw.
Or versus DC.
17.
All right. That group fails massively. Oh dear lord, 2 nat 1s in a row.
Oh my god.
That's also a fail. Alright, of the 4 groups that I rolled for, 3 of the 4 rolled a nat 1, and the other one just failed normally. So what happens to those that have failed?
I don't think they can be blinded,
Correct,
but
they do not have eyes.
they do take 4d8 radiant damage.
That is a sizable amount of damage. Go ahead and roll it.
13.
Ooh.
A whopping 13 with 2 2s and a 1. Thanks, roll 20. I appreciate it.
The damage does seem to serve as a deterrent, as it also mega brightens up this area.
Also, add +5 to that because of my Heavenly Conduit ability. I add my Charisma modifiers to 1 radiant or fire damage roll. Yeah.
All right, that seemed to slow them down a bunch. Each of you can go ahead and make an athletics check to keep bursting past them. Or
Okay.
try to get away now that they are slowed down by this burning wall.
Okay. Athletics. 6.
4.
You guys need to hit the gym.
Yeah, I know.
24.
Oh my god.
Wolfgang basically just kind of like grabs you both and just starts running. Basically,
Let's
carrying
go!
Nick, I want you to look at your messages really quick
Oh, sure.
and tell
Sorry,
me
I'll-
if Nara has seen that before. Because I think she would have. At some point. Even if through other means of not her own. Of like her own hunts. Because if so, that's about to happen.
That's a very specific kind of beast. Probably not going to allow its legendary actions and such like that. But just a genuine.
Yep.
I'd say you've probably seen a large lion, not a huge lion.
But enough to carry 2 people or no?
A large lion would be enough to carry one person. In this case, probably Denier, as he's the one lagging.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, yeah. Nara's gonna polymorph herself into a large lion.
All All right, with a white mane and black fur, you look like you look like the photo negative of this lion, basically. As you just kind of scoop your head under Denier. Denier, you are now on the back of a very large shadow cat
that moves very quickly. Literally 60 feet speed. So I'm doubling the pace that I had before.
Yeah, you guys make it to the end of the wall of force and start to turn. You make it around the bend, where a interesting sight greets you. Go ahead and, with the lion stats, go ahead and make me a perception check. That would. Wisdom is a mental. Wait, no. Wisdom is a mental stat. So No, polymorph. You use all of the beast attributes. So yes, this would
right.
Yeah.
The true
beasts.
polymorph is the one that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. Okay, so that's my. Oh gosh, what is that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. How would I do that?
It would just be D20 plus 1.
Okay.
Oh, D20 plus 6. It says it has plus 6 perception.
Thank God.
And the rest of you can make like a normal perception check.
Okay.
Oh, 9. Okay.
21.
8.
The lion and Wolfgang actually kind of slow down for a moment because in front of you is what looks like 5 mind flayers kind of standing at the edge of this valley. But Denier, you're able to notice that those mind flare shapes appear to be made of stone.
Denier calls out, "Not real! Not real! Push forward!"
Yeah, Gnarlion will tense up and run forward.
And Denier is throwing firebolts off the back of the lion at any devourer that he sees.
As you get closer and closer to these mind flare statues, they begin to slow and back off more and more. I don't think comprehend languages and polymorph act at the same time.
They're both concentration, so no.
And
Oh,
I
wait, no,
have
you
the
have the
concentration
circlet, so
circlet,
yes, you would have
so I can understand.
So, what you hear as they begin to back off, Nara, is,
No, his territory. Back, back. Flee. They are his now. They are his now.
Nara will use message and tell
Sorry,
Denier what he says.
As a lion?
Denier,
Oh.
you hear
Shit! She forgot about that
in
part.
your head. So as you hear echoing through the caverns, 2 of you just hear
Askasnya.
Nara in the back of your head. You hear,
They are his now. They are his now.
and here's where we'll take a break. Hey guys, Lani here. I just wanted to thank you for rolling with us. And if you wanted to catch us live, you can do so almost every Monday at 5 o'clock Central Time over on twitch.tv/Lanipator. Now, back to the show. So as the intellect devours back off, you guys find shelter in a rather dank cave, although it does seem fairly well carved out. Looks like there's a bit of thought put into how this place looks. Definitely carved out either psychically or with tools, but there is a modicum of decor here. The walls themselves appear to be... one second, still pulling back my notes. It's all very alien to your eyes, the curvature. It looks very kind of Geigerian. The motifs are that of very like long, strandy tentacles with lumpy textures, but it is nonetheless decorated to appeal to somebody's sensibilities. but the cavern itself is very quiet. There does not appear to be much activity inside, and the statues of the mind flayers outside appear to act as either warnings or guard, like some sort of makeshift guards for this place. So Nara the Lion, Wolfgang, and Denier, you guys find yourself a brief moment of reprieve.
I've got one trick left, but I don't know what to use it on. I can either summon the tower and give us a little bit of shelter and maybe a place to hold up for a little bit. I can try to message Arcanos, or I can try to call for help. I don't know if it'll work bringing somebody here, but it might be an idea. What do you think, Wolfgang?
If we can find shelter, that'll keep us safe until we can get our various resources. Get some time to breathe. Time to think. I think that would be our best bet. Because we can do all that. We get some rest, we can do the other plans after that.
How big is the cavern we're in right now, Lenny?
Not nearly big enough for you to summon your tower.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
The roof is probably about 15 feet above your head at this relatively small entranceway. As you look a little further in, there might be some larger rooms in there, but you're not sure if any of the... what is the minimum height of your tower?
It's 2 floors, 20 feet tall.
You're not sure if you'll find a space that's 20 feet tall, but it's definitely not this space.
We could go outside a bit to closer to the Mind Flayer statues. Or we can go deeper and look for a space. I don't have much left in me. Or I can set up an alarm and we can try to hunker down right here.
Nara's just like flexing her like giant lion toe beans and scratching them across the surface of the ground.
The surface of the ground feels it doesn't feel soft like the material outside. This is harder. This feels closer to granite. But your claws do leave a kind of visible mark as you scratch. You get some small pride in that.
But whatever's here, I think it's intelligent. At least smart enough to decorate the area, so we might have a chance with diplomacy and negotiation.
We tried that before.
That's the thing. I don't think that whatever's in here is a mind flayer. Because if it was, why would those little brains fear it?
As you look back out towards the entrance, you can still see that the intellect devourers, the little brains, haven't exactly left. You can still see the lumps kind of standing in the mist, seemingly waiting for you to retreat.
I think we might have to go deeper. I don't have the room to make the tower here.
with Denier still on her back, she just starts walking down the cavern or the path.
Light on a bike. All right.
You get that sort of echoing sound as Nara's claws clack against the ground. This click clack, click clack, click clack, click clack. As you walk further in, you do find a space that opens up a bit. It might have enough space for you to summon your tower if you look around enough. The decorum in here, again, very like there's little to no movement or action happening inside. You find a few more. Mind Flayer statues and a lot of dust. Like the ground here is very dusty.
All right, look around. We need a spot that's about 20 feet up. I guess we're rolling perception to look around.
This would be survival, I think, to scout out an area.
I don't know what I would do for that.
As a lion, it would just be your wisdom. It would just be whatever your wisdom score as the lion is.
Denier rolled a 4.
2.
All right.
So just 2.
Or you could not be. You can change yourself back from being a lion if you just want to be Nara again.
Yeah, she'll just like once Denier says that, she'll just like kind of step forward and morph back into herself, walking in front of him, and let him figure out if he can stand from that or not.
I figured that she'd sit down and he'd, slide off her back.
Yeah, she'll give just enough warning for him to get off and then turn back into herself. And then also a 4.
I'm not seeing anything, okay. Wolfgang. What do you think?
Yeah, the ceilings here are kind of weird that you've noticed. You'd have to be very particular because a lot of that architecture, that tentacle-like architecture, has these arches that kind of like swoop up and down in this sort of like wave pattern above your heads in these rooms. But go ahead and give me a survival check there, Wolfgang.
Okay. 9.
Unfortunately, this space here does not look like there would be a good space to summon the tower. Furthermore, each of you kind of has this like little tickling at the back of your neck, that sense that you're being watched.
Perception check?
Go for it.
16?
And why not? 18.
18.
Each of you kind of catching each other's eye and getting that same feeling. You each start glancing around the room. There doesn't appear to be anything spying on you. But you can't help shake the feeling that something is watching you.
Wolfgang, are we being scryed on?
Detect magic.
Doesn't appear to be any sort of like scrying point anywhere near here. Or not within 30 feet of you at the very least.
I don't see anything.
Just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not watching, though. Or listening.
I'll just keep it up and keep looking around.
If anything, from your perception check, you do gather, though, that even if you can't summon the tower, this room does look fairly defendable. There's two ways into this chamber, one of which is the way you came in. Another one seems to go a little bit further in to this, goes further in down a hallway that you can't see around the cook of. It does look like there was another path here, but that looks to be caved in by some burned debris.
Denier's going to go to the way that they went in. He is going to ritual cast alarm on that way. He's going to go to the other side, ritual cast alarm on that way. with the bell. So if anything comes through those sides that's not tiny, it'll trigger, and he's going to try to find a way to settle down and basically set up camp a little bit.
Okay, it does look like there are a few spaces where you might be able to find some comfort. There are a couple of little arched rampways that lead up to little cubbies in the sides of the room. Each of them kind of looking pretty defensible as well. There are basins with some unknown liquid sitting at the top of each of these little ramps. Looks a bit viscous, probably not potable. But there does not appear to be any sort of life within them at first glance.
That's good at the very least. All right, so I've got both entrances alarmed, so if anything comes through, we'll know. I'd say just for right now, hunker down, recover as best we can, and maybe go deeper.
I think we should set up a watch as well, just in case. I'll take first. I don't need much.
Nara, which do you want? I know that you sleep the least out of all of us.
I'll go second.
I'll take third watch then.
All right, Wolfgang, how long does the Wall of Light last?
Wall of Light. God, I'm still concentrating on it. Lasts for 10 minutes.
Okay, so it's still going. All right. Oh, and for the poor creatures that are still around it. There's definitely a thinning of the herd happening out there, but I don't know if you have a perception of that, but you get a sense of pride that things are that it's doing its job.
I hear a in the distance. That's good stuff.
This wall still hurts. Owie.
All right, Wolfgang, go ahead and give me a perception check as you make first watch while everybody else rests up after a long
19.
There's not a lot going on in this room, but you take your time to kind of like pace around, definitely make sure that that feeling that you can't shake, that feeling that you're being watched. You look around, you check everything that you think to. You walk up to some of these Mind Flayer statues, and they're very, very intricately crafted. Like they look so incredibly lifelike, straight down to the look of fear in their eyes, the curl of shock in their tentacles.
A long time ago, I witnessed the quote-unquote statue of our very fine sorcerer young lad, whose name is escaping me because I'm stressed out right now. Pip, yes. I know that Pip got turned into a strange thing by that creature's name is also escaping me right
Basilisk.
Basilisk.
Basilisk, yes. So would I be able to put two and two together and say that these are not statues, but in fact petrified beings?
I'd say just, yeah, even just the fact that most people probably would not carve an effigy of, the being that you assumed lived in this place being terrified. Yeah, this looks like it is a petrified Mind Flayer.
Great!
So you have that knowledge to you. It doesn't appear anything has approached, though. Nothing seems to have found its way into this chamber. Nothing is trying to make its way in as the night begins to wear on you. You go to awaken Nara.
The second you said statues and dust, I'm just like,
Could be a lot of things.
Hooray!
Cut it now. Okay, I'll go over and I'll wake up Nara, I guess.
As he approaches, she's like not really making sound, but is like kind of fetal position, arms wrapped around the egg, and is like shuddering as if she's been like heaving from just sobbing quietly.
You're up.
What?
It's your
Yeah.
watch.
Right. Right. Go sleep. Go. Whatever.
I'll take a minute. I'll just keep my hand on the shoulder that I shook her awake with. And I know nothing that I can say will do her any good, but I'll just try to give her the most reassuring look that I can.
She'll roll over, flinging the egg on her back, and like kind of come up to where her like feet are splayed out at her sides, but she's still sitting, and just like leans her head against Wolfgang's chest.
I'll let her. And I will try to sleep.
She'll stand and look around the room, trying to pay attention as best she can.
You still can't shake that feeling that you're being watched. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
23.
You decide to go about, like, you know, every nook and cranny of this room, just looking for something that might be spying on you. You check near and far, close to the door, without crossing over that alarm threshold that Denier set. But everywhere you look, you can't seem to find anything that might be spying on you, to the point that you think you just might be paranoid by all of the all of the things that have happened so far. You walk over to the pile of debris, and you do see a almost mummified Mind Flayer hand sticking out from under the debris.
A mummified one?
It looks like when you hit something with enough necrotic damage that it just kind of shrivels up and like loses all life. That's kind of what it looks like.
Would I have seen that before?
Oh, absolutely. Both by
What is that?
both by you casting it and by watching Solomon suck the life out of somebody.
Oh shit, okay. So that's what specifically?
It
Just
was
necrotic?
just
anything?
a crap ton of necrotic damage was what killed this thing. Either that or the falling rocks, and the necrotic damage was just, haha, eat that.
Yeah, sounds about right. She will, if it's very stiffly in the ground and necrotic, it doesn't hurt you to touch something that's like dead and necrotic, right?
Not as far as you're aware.
Because I would have definitely touched something like that before.
You've touched a lot of dead things, yeah.
She'll kind of uncover a little bit more of it, just to like see what's going on, what it was wearing, that kind of thing.
It definitely looks like a desiccated mind flayer arm as you try to like brush some of the rubble off. Some of the rubble is just a little too big for you to move. The arm looks kind of broken and battered and bruised. You can make a medicine check to try to figure out which thing killed it, but you'd be at
Okay.
disadvantage.
5.
It could be either or. Since you can't really get a good look at its body, you just know that its arm is emaciated and the body is probably crushed beneath all the rubble of this rock that looks like it was cut from the ceiling with some sort of like a burning spell.
Okay.
Time passes. Nothing seems to intrude. But go ahead and make me one more perception check.
Okay. 29.
With that, you do hear something echoing from further in, from around the hallway that leads further into this, I guess for lack of a better word, building. You hear kind of the muttered rumblings of something, this and a tink, 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 tink. It's very subtle and very distant, but with your very honed ears, you were able to pick up that. But nothing seems to approach. To the point that you're getting kind of to the end of your watch period.
She'll, yeah, okay. She'll, go wake up Denier.
How long was Wolfgang's watch?
You know, it's the damnedest thing. It's very hard for you to get a good sense of time here.
Mm-hmm.
Wolfgang, it felt to you like you were up for hours and hours, but at the same time, it also could have been minutes. It could have been a full 24 hours. It's like time for you guys has been so distorted at this point, both from being stretched into infinity and being hurled through the mists of a swirling time vortex, that trying to get your own tempo is very difficult right now.
Have I gotten the effects of a long rest?
Yes.
Okay.
Did I?
You will achieve it after you finish up the rest of your rest.
Gotcha.
Denier will allow her to go to sleep. He'll wake up. I cast Sending.
Who are you sending to?
Also,
Hatless.
quick note: elves can trance, so they take half the time for long rest.
Yeah, but in this case, with watches and such, it's... In order to get the full effect of a long rest, just the rest of it, basically.
To be fair, she also spent your first watch, like, not sleeping and crying instead.
Fair enough.
What do you
So-
roll? Oh, are you trying to roll for between dimensions?
Yep. It did not roll a 1, so the message does go through.
All right. You are sending a message to Hackless.
Mm-hmm. Hackless, we're in another plane of existence. We're in trouble. When's the last time you went to the Wandering Weasel? Only 25 words. Be brief.
No voice answers you.
Okay.
You know that you connected to something, but for whatever reason, there was no reply.
There was connection, but no reply.
Or I should say, you know you cast the spell correctly.
Mm-hmm. I'm making sure that I am in a defensive position. And I'm going to continue to keep an eye on everything.
Actually, hold on a sec. Does that count as telepathic communication?
I don't think so.
Okay. It's important if it does.
I think the sending spell is just...
From my
It
side,
doesn't-
I speak it out loud, but it appears in their head.
Gotcha, okay. As you were previously casting a spell, go ahead and roll me perception with disadvantage.
Okay. 12.
You still can't shake that feeling that something's watching you. I mean, that's a feeling that you've had a lot in your life. So you're used to it, but you're also used to paying attention to it.
Yep. And I am being absolutely on guard, watching, waiting, ready. I've got spell components ready to go, and I'm keeping an eye on both sides while Denier is planning their escape.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to do within the first hour of your watch?
I don't think so.
All right.
He's making sure to be cautious, be careful. You know what? Why not? I'll try to do it to. I'll try to get in contact with Arcanos as well. I'll spend another spell slot.
All right. As you cast to Arcanos, what do you want your message to be?
We've come through the other side. I think we're in the void. Are you here with us? We're looking for escape routes.
The voice that replies to you seems odd to your head. The boy that you had spoken to seems to have a deeper pitch to him, almost like a man in his 30s now. Oh, yes, I can see that. That's you right there, isn't it? Can you see me waving?
Can I see him waving?
You look around, and down the hallway that you came in, there's a cloaked figure.
God.
What the
Denier
fuck?
waves back.
Are you kidding me?
He was not there when you were on watch. He saw the burning light some time ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right, then. He saw the wall of light.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Hot damn.
The beacon has
Thank
been
God.
lit. Wolfgang calls for aid.
I did it.
He starts walking in, and in the back of your head, like once he crosses, like he steps near the threshold, holds out his arm. You hear ding, 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 ding in the back of your head. Pulls his arm back, pushes it forward. Ding, 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 ding. Pulls it back, pushes it
Denier
forward.
goes in,
Ding,
just
ding, ding,
waves
ding,
his hand, and he allows Arcanos through.
He kind of chuckles as he walks in. Ha! Sorry, couldn't help myself. God, it's been ages. Ugh, I barely recognized you, Soam. Not without you. He kind of waves his face a little bit, and he gets this quizzical look on his face. Fascinating.
How long has it been for you?
How long has it been for you? Well, actually, that's kind of a trick question, isn't it? Time here doesn't really exist.
Yeah, I've been trying to reach out, see if we can find a way back into the Wandering Weasel, but I didn't get a reply.
Wandering weasel, that's a word I haven't heard in a long time. Where have I heard it before? You see this kind of like look in his eyes, this inquisitive look on his face. Ah, I must have lost it to the keeper.
Keeper?
Yes. Keeper of secrets. He lives, I don't know, an eternity or so that way. points back out and then kind of like off slightly to the left.
Can I know that this is Arcanos because I went to Arcanos, but can I insight this?
Go for it.
11?
This man continues to be a fucking mystery. They're like, he's oddly familiar in a number of ways to you, though. And he seems very familiar with you, and he even called you Soam.
You know, it's
Go ahead.
It's funny. I never expected I'd find you here. So often you would tell me, do not go to the void. Do not go to the void. And then I said, well, I know if I go there, well, what happens if I end up in the void? You told me you'd find me here. And, well, here we are. It's just, didn't expect it to be like this.
You've interacted with a future version of me.
So it would seem.
In their motions and offers a seat. The last time we saw you was back when, well, Ramses attacked the city.
Ramses.
The guy with the floating city that came to Lona Throne.
That's...
He starts to kind of like scratch his head.
Sorry, there's gaps in my memory. The Keeper of Secrets. He's quite an interesting character. You make kind of a game of it sometimes. You go there and basically, he holds all knowledge unknown to all but himself. And you can pry that knowledge from him. But, in return, anything that only you know, he takes from you. You leave every time thinking that you've won, but never knowing what you've lost, and I've lost a decent amount. But, I have his name. So, that's a little trophy for me.
Toman Epombus? Is it Toman Epombus?
No, that's what they call me around here, although the pronunciation is very particular. Tomeipobus.
Daenerys just tilts his head a little bit.
I had another name once. Though I think he has it now.
What was your old name?
That's it. He has it now. Though I've taken a shining to that other one. Has a good ring to it.
So what brings you out to the void?
Oh,
looking for us? Or just exploring?
No. I was exploring. Traveling from world to world. I remember leaving my home some time ago and all of a sudden everything was open. All worlds. But if you travel too far to the edge, you end up here. And unfortunately, where there is no time, there is no space. So nothing for me to rip a hole in. I've been trapped for a very long while.
If memory serves right, there is small gateways. Tears in the fabric of reality.
Yes.
We once pushed back an incursion from the void.
Unfortunately, those are very few and far between, and no one ever knows truly where and when they'll open. The Elder Brains seem to have some sort of ability to really pry them forth, but even then, that's a secret known only to them.
They also seem to have some kind of a tether to the plane of dreams.
Yes, that's why you kept telling me not to come here, although I guess that's not
true this is past you, so you will tell me. But I will have already heard.
Probably, yeah. Time is an interesting thing. Did I ever tell you how I got out of the void the first time?
He just kind of smiles and shakes his head. You always told me how I hated spoilers.
Of course. Yeah, you do. Well, at the very least, while they rest, we can enjoy ourselves.
I suppose so, although... Why did you choose this place specifically?
Well, there wasn't an army of walking brains here.
He turns around. Yeah, I guess those do kind of get in the way sometimes, don't they?
A little bit.
Oh, jumpy little bastards they are.
Stretches his back.
He just kind of he sits. He kind of like rests his back against the against like one of the tentacle-like pillars. So I guess Blinky hasn't found his way out here yet, then.
No.
I think he's lurking around, but he hasn't shown up yet.
God.
What is Blinky?
Oh. Grouchy little bastard most of the times. Very paranoid. Can't have much of a conversation with him until he just goes... Bah! Crazy. Although sometimes you can catch him on a good day.
Anything specifically he likes?
He likes his ego being stroked, but I'll tell you this. He's had a few run-ins with the Keeper of Secrets as well. If you ever really want to get his goat, ask him what his name is. He'll never remember, and it'll drive him mad. And he'll think you stole it. It's great.
But if he thinks I stole it, then that means that... that might anger him.
Yes, very much so. It's kind of funny sometimes, but not recommended if you... Points over to some of the dust. Don't want to, you know.
Yeah, we're hoping to leave diplomatically, as they say.
Best thing you can do, stay in his eye line. Especially for you. He hates magic.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But as long as he's looking at you, he can't hit you with all of his.
I see.
That's always been my way around it anyway. So he knows as soon as he looks away from me, it's... ta-ta. But anyway, I was following... The reason I ended up over here. Are you carrying with you... You're carrying with you something with an immense amount of temporal energy. Luckily, your friend lit a beacon and I was able to find you much easier, but...
Daenerys points at the egg. Probably that.
That would be it. A source of time in a world without it. He kind of chuckles and smiles to himself. My old friend. I think we may just get out of here yet. And here is where we are going to end today's session.